Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
Diamond walnuts. Anything else is just nuts.
Man, one of our followers on TikTok brought up a good point, man. The Rock episode that we covered a couple weeks ago, you know, when we first see Terrence and Sheila in the school, does that school look familiar to you, Matt? Because it's a show that we just covered probably a couple weeks prior to that episode.
That can't be Bayside, Steve. That's not Bayside.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not Bayside, but it's a show that we covered around that time. We did Saved by the Bell.
I mean, spill the beans. Where is it? I'm on fucking pins and needles.
It's the exact same hallway as Sisters High School.
Oh damn! They're just fucking doubling up.
And I didn't even clock that. Like, I watched the clips. I mean, we did the shows, and dude, where Roger is, you know, talking to the teacher, and like they meet the two guys.
Okay.
That's the same. Yeah, that's the same one where Damon tried to take dude's jacket.
Odd also, because in both of those episodes involved dudes from outside of that school coming into the school to perpetrate some weirdness in one way or the other, Steve. But shout out to Eagle Eye TikTok person, because to see that, I mean, I wish I had those kind of eyes, Steve. Jesus.
And they're following the right people. Yeah, they catch the loose ends that we don't tie up.
Thank you. I mean, we need to throw some more tips out. Anytime you see some shit like this, TikTok user anonymous. I love that. Damn. I feel bad because I used to be somebody I feel like that would see that shit, Steve. And I guess like in my old age, it's gone to the wayside. There you go. There you go.
But plus the age, you know, I think it's even share. Damn. Detroit and Baltimore and Detroit. And I want to bring out this section of the show, and this might be the only time we do this segment. It's one of those things on TikTok that's becoming a popular craze, where the content creator opens up a new package. So on this segment, for the first time, what happened in the 90s, Steve G is going to open a package, and I think we'll just name this segment Steve G opens a package.
Yeah. Steve G opens a package. Steve G opens a package. He's got a package. He's gonna open it. Steve G. What do we got here?
You know how they have to be all extra about it. Oh, what is it? Oh.
I've got a big fucking boner right now.
I got a McNugget box. Let's see what's in the McNugget box.
What's in the box?
No, Steve. It's wrapped in McDonald's wrapping.
The old school.
No. Hey, Arby's, learn from this. Put something on it that just says for fucking good burger. You fuck.
Yeah, you lecherous rabbits. I don't know.
Arby is just trying to fucking steal the shine. So, Steve, what you have here for the listeners, he has a new McDonald's Chicken McNugget collectible. What are we looking at here, Steve? Is that a superhero? Is it a princess? I can't really see here.
Well, now it's a bald head hoe.
No. Uh-oh.
I've got a big fucking boner right now.
So it's like a Mr. Potato Head nugget type situation we got going here. Steve, the beauty of the nuggets stalled the camera out here, but we're back. I mean, I love this though. McDonald's putting in some work here. This isn't just like a cutout or some. I mean, it might be a cheap piece of shit. I can't tell that much, but it looks pretty cool, Steve. I like that.
It's got that fresh out the bag and out the box smell.
It's very customizable. But I gotta say though, like, step the fucking food game up. because the only times I've gone to McDonald's recently, and it hasn't been a lot, so this might just be me, but the shit just wasn't good. We talked about this. It's not. We're yearning for a taste that we had as a kid, and we're never gonna get that taste again, Steve. The McNuggets, they're not gonna be as tasty. The fries, not as fat. The supersize, completely gone.
Well, maybe if they called them McNuggets, that would make them tastier. I want some nuggets, McNuggets.
Give me
please.
a McNugget.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
But I like that. It reminds me of a toy that I got from McDonald's way back in the day that was the Looney Tunes characters with snap-onable like superhero costumes, I think it was.
Yep. It totally was, man.
Yeah, so shout out to McDonald's for at least helping us like childish adults want to buy some special. I'm assuming that's like an adult Happy Meal, Steve. Is that what that is?
It's the Kerwin something adult Happy Meal. Yeah, you get the Big Mac or you get the 10-piece. And I bought another one, but I'm keeping that in the box just in case by 2030 it might be worth $1 million. So
I don't want to go too heavy into McDonald's, but my wife did peep me onto the fact, and when I want to really just say I'm a piece of garbage and accept that, they actually I think have a 40-piece McNugget, Steve. I think it's 40, where you get like an attaché case full of nuggets, or McNuglets, as you like to call them. And
that's what you call them.
Well, whatever, who place blame wherever. But a 40-piece nugget, Fat Matt used to be able to put a 20-piece and a supersized fry down easily. So I don't know if my stomach's that big, but a 40-piece nugget just sounds so tasty.
It does. Like,
just when they give a fuck and you bite into it, and it's not like that dry nugget, it's the good kind. You know what I'm talking about.
I've got a big fucking boner right now.
Like Scrooge McDuck, I could just hop into a pool of the McNuggets.
And I feel like in the 90s, Steve, when we were kids, 90% of that box, maybe 80%, just to be conservative. Now, I don't even know what I'm getting. Shame on you, McDonald's.
Yeah, you might be eating chicken dick, or if it's even chicken. And I feel like they were less ashy. The nuggets now, they're a little ashy, like they need some greasing, some Vaseline, if you will.
Yeah, they used to have like that George Hamilton brown to it, that crispiness. It was right.
But with all that being said, are you listening, Arby's? Because I know you watching. You try to take money out of Good Burger's name. You want to steal their clout for nothing. You just like, it's a Good Burger because that's what it says on the menu. Like,
it's just disrespectful, to be honest. It's really disrespectful. Throw a fucking something. Like, I don't know, Steve. Just a Nickelodeon splat on the shit with Good Burger in it. It's crazy.
An Ed dreadlock cap that you could take home, and hey, so you can be Ed. Hey, welcome to the Good Burger. Yeah. Like, none of that. Nope.
Yeah. A splatted, you can buy like a t-shirt that has the strawberry shake like splatted on it. This is a high-end item, Steve. Something like that. Make a quick 40 off some rube that wants to buy that, but anything. You're just buying an Arby's burger, and that's, I feel bad for you at that point, Steve.
But the burger was good, and the crinkly fry and the shake. The meal itself was good, but we grew up when you associate yourself with a movie or a TV show. We came up in the era was like, all right, I know I'm gonna get that Muppet Baby when I get there. I'm gonna get that Looney Tunes. I'm gonna get that Flintstones because that's what they show in the commercial. Like, no, man.
I mean, I used to make my parents go to McDonald's, and they might not have planned to buy the McDonald's. So right then and there, their marketing, remember the Dream Team cups, the Batman cups? It's like, we're going there again because I got to get all of them. I got to get the full set. I don't see that happening. I'm not a McDonald's lover at this point. I'm actually quite the opposite, but I think they could step their game up a little bit and just like go back, look in the records, look in the McDonald's historical records, see what those guys were doing, just replicate it. Find a movie to latch onto, find a Looney Tunes thing to do, whatever, what have you.
But don't stop there.
You can do better. You can do more.
Souvenir take-home cup. But like, hey, I'll give them grace because they're new to this, and they're not used to doing this movie crossover thing, and they have Ving Rhames. So there's that. They did get something right.
Arby's, we have the guns and butter.
C&H. Mommy used to bake her cakes. She makes the greatest cookies, snacks, and candy.
Dandy. Island kids all love that cane. It grows so clean and sweet. They eat it when it's freshly cut.
And then that's quite a treat. Neat!
Blessed by sun, kissed by rain. C&H comes from the sugar cane.
She makes the greatest cookies, snacks, and candy. In the bright pink package.
Well, hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Mark Eaton jerseys and your Marky Mark, because sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Ding, 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 ding.
And they're always glad you came.
Bing, bing, bing.
You want to go where people know the troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Happened in the 90s. Wow. Steve, we didn't even discuss that. Yes. I love it.
Man. Well, today, my friend, we're talking about all things January 18th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990. Cheers is airing season 8, episode 14. What is Cliff Clavin? In this episode, Cliff Clavin appears on the game show Jeopardy, and game show host Alex Trebek guest stars as himself. R.I.P.
R.I.P., but a great actor. Alex Trebek, multi-talented. And also, when I read the title for this episode, I was like, does Cliff take acid and just question reality? What is Cliff Clavin? I'd watch that one too, but this is a great episode, Steve.
And this episode starts off with an older guy coming into the bar, and he says that he hasn't been in Cheers in over 20 years. It's been his first time since the 60s. He said, he's talking to Woody, and he's like, the floor used to be green. Those stairs, it used to go the opposite way. And they even changed the paneling. And when Woody asked, they did? He's like, yeah, over there by Norm.
Norm's just reading a paper. I love that, Steve. Do you see that anymore? Is there just an old sauced up dude just reading a paper at a bar anymore? Does this happen?
It went to the phone.
It went to the phone. Yeah, you're right. It's much less classy now. Yeah, but Norm, he's an institution, Steve. He might have been there before the building was there. They just built around him,
Hey, Norm. And cue that classic theme song.
God. I mean, we always go on about theme songs, but this is another one. It was just cooking in this time period. There's 2 decades where, maybe even 3, they almost thought about the theme song as much as the show, I feel like. And it shows.
Once again, just like I said about Golden Girls, man, A++, because they did put a lot of attention into the theme song, but they put attention into the writing, the evolution of the characters, backstories, like the callbacks to the characters from previous seasons, like the team, the actors, the actresses, man, everything just bona fide, bro.
And just this is a small thing, but even just the intro, the weird vintage photos they show where it's they sync it up to the people it applies to in Cheers. It's the young guy and it shows Woody, the bartender, the main bartender, and it shows what's his face's name and stuff. Everything about it. It was just it was, as far as my childhood, I remember this is one of my earliest TV memories because this would be on my mom and dad watching this shit. Just this song got ingrained into your head. We could have sang this in 3rd grade probably,
Easily.
We probably knew that.
It's just embedded, bro.
It's just a song about bar people at a bar. You want to go? It's just. I wish my elementary school actually let us do that. That would have been great.
And the next scene, we have Sam gets a phone call at the bar, and it's Carmen. Carmen's calling for Sam, and she like basically tells him off and hangs up. And Norm asks, "She hung up on you?" He's like, "Yeah, she used to be." And he basically left her waiting on him at a roller rink wearing a black leather miniskirt and French cut panties.
Very specific. And he's like, that does sound like me, but I don't remember that. I would have remembered having some broad just waiting for me with the FC panties. So it just kind of sets some alarm bells off. And he's like, wait, let me check my black book. Because, you know, my whole schedule's there. He can't find it, Steve. It's nowhere to be found, which is crazy because that's like the Bible of tail.
Lost his power, man. And, you know, Cliff, he comes in and he says Jeopardy's in town for a one-time only East Coast appearance. And, you know, he's going to take the test or however you qualify to get on that show. He's going to do it. He's determined. While Sam, he's on a mission to go look for his black book. Frazier tells him to retrace his steps. And he's just like, I was at the laundromat last night. He's going to the laundromat, and Woody wants to help him find his spare sock.
Yeah, he's like, check. I'm missing both. We go back to the bar. Cliff comes back in because this is later. He aced the test, Steve. I guess they tell you right then and there. The Jeopardy test, A+. Which, what's on that thing?
I'm going to Jeopardy. And, once Rebecca finds this out, she wants him to plug Cheers. So they're throwing out anecdotes. Man, you should tell him about the time we saw that rat behind the bar. You should tell him about the time this guy got caught cheating on his wife. It's like, yeah. So while that's going on, another phone call comes into the bar, and this time it's Annie. She was waiting on Sam all day at the roller rink, wearing a black leather miniskirt and some French cut panties.
And this is Sam comes back right as that happens. He couldn't find his book at the laundromat. It's gone, Steve. It's gone. So I think Rebecca at this point is like, is she the one who points out that it might be the person calling is the person responsible for stealing? Doesn't she point out this like scam that's going on here?
That's the part where I got fuzzy, man. I do know she helped.
No, it is Frazier. I'm sorry. I got my note here. So they're talking about it, and Frazier's like, seems like somebody has your book and is calling these chicks up and standing them up. So you need to figure out that now. Somebody's like fucking up your steez. Frazier Crane's on it.
He's always the intelligent guy of the village. And, now they need Rebecca's help. They enlist Rebecca, and she's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get caught up in Sam's bullshit. And, what's Rhea Perlman's name?
Carla.
Carla, she basically like bluffs Rebecca and says, you know what? If you don't, I can tell the guys about that thing that you don't want them to know about. She's like, fine, Sam, what do you need?
Yeah, dude, she's playing that bluff game, Steve, hard. Carla's a fucking G. Oh yeah. And they also figure out, because like the way it's going, it seems like the person is going through this black book alphabetically. So they're like, you're about to be the next person that gets called alphabetically, so be on the lookout. That's why they go to her. So
that's right.
They pull that G move on her of just like bluffing, like, and I do like this because it's fucked up that they lied to her, but it also shows you that Rebecca has something so fucked up in her past that she's like, do they know? What is it? Which one? Which messed up thing is it? So she can't even like let that go to the point where she's like, oh, I know you're lying. She's like, I've done too much dirt. I just got to let this one go.
I think she's into bestiality stuff. That's my bet.
Did a couple of donkey shows at Cheers
with a pantry full of peanut butter.
Oh my God. So also as that's happening, Frasier, Woody, and Norm are like trying to figure out if they're gonna go see Cliff at Jeopardy. And everybody's like kind of like, I don't know. And they ask Frasier, like, are you gonna go? And he's like, I told Lilith I was gonna clean my dog's ears. I don't know. Anything to get out of it.
Like, is this just like, man, Cliff, he's just like a lovable loser, I swear, man. Like, no, it's like they fuck with him, but they don't fuck with him. And now we're at Jeopardy. We're on the set. It's the real Alex Trebek. And this is my first time seeing the announcer, the real life guy. Like,
it's weird,
oh.
right? It doesn't. It's weird to see it because I guess I just pictured Roddy or somebody in my head, and it's not that.
Yeah, it's not. He's a completely different guy. And his contestants are a doctor, a lawyer, and a mailman.
He's an underdog, Steve. But Cliff's ready. Cliff's so ready that when Alex Trebek, like, he says hello to Alex and fucks up like the intro. And Alex is like, okay, yeah, okay. Chill out, bud.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me. You're welcome, Cliff.
But Cliff kills it, Steve.
Oh man, look at the damn categories: civil servants, stamps from around the world, mothers and sons, beer, bar trivia, celibacy. It's a cakewalk.
Oh, he gets up big, Steve. I mean, but then I forget how much he's up, but he gets like 22,000, I think. And everybody in the audience is like, holy, like, this is crazy. He's going to win so much money. And Norm, Cliff's best friend, is like, hey, I know Cliff. And I don't think this is going to work out the way you think it is.
And Woody's just like, how do you know? It's like, man, I know Cliff. He's going to blow it all before I even get a chance to ask for a loan. That's why I'm pissed. I'm preemptively pissed at him now. Like, bro, I was going to ask you for 10 racks. I already know you're going to blow it.
At least the bar tab. At least pay my bar tab, dude. Come on. Give me the 0.
Yeah.
But we get the final question. Did you have the final question log, Steve?
The final Jeopardy is movies. That's the title of the category. And, obviously Cliff has no idea what it's about. The characters are Archibald Leach, Bernard Schwartz, and Lucille Lesueur. And I guess you're supposed to answer who portrayed those characters. And they were Tony Curtis and, damn it, I didn't clock that part. But anyways, he didn't get that right. And he bet everything. Agnes, she goes down to $400. She got it wrong. And when it comes to Cliff, his answer is, who are 3 people who've never been in my kitchen? And sure enough, he bets it all.
And I love Alex was like, well, unless you have a catastrophic failure in this last question, you're good to go, Cliff. And he's not. Norm knew it. He tanks. And then as they're like closing off, Cliff, he loses it because in his mind, he's like, look, guys, that's correct. What I said, totally real and totally correct. You can fact check it. And he's basically goes on a tirade to the camera to state his case. But he's not going to win that money, Steve. He blew it all. He doesn't even have a buck.
Tony Curtis is still alive. Ask him right now. If you get a hold of us right now, I'll split half of it with you.
So he blows it. So then we come back from that failure to Cheers. And I do like that this trick Carla has of like bluffing Rebecca. Norm's like, hey, Rebecca, I need a beer free of charge. And she's like, no, you're going to pay for it. He's like, I'm going to tell everybody about that thing. And he gets a free beer, Steve. It works. This woman how much dirt does this woman have in her fucking closet, Steve?
Yeah, man. Donkey shows and dog
nuts. Donkey shows. Rebecca's doing donkey shows.
By the way, she's hot, man. Like
hell
like,
yeah.
like her views and things at the towards the end of her life, Kirstie Alley, like that I don't know if you're familiar, stuff that she shared on social media. It's kind of like, yeah, but in the realm of early 90s, Rebecca Howe can get the long dick.
Yeah. That's vintage. Rebecca, what's her name? She's hot.
Kirstie Alley.
She was attainable hot, you know? She wasn't like a Pam Anderson. She was just like that hot, like mom you'd see at school. Where you're like, oh,
you catch her at the right time. It's game time.
Yeah, in this though, Sam, he's definitely, and Sam obviously, if he's taking you to bed, obviously you've got to be pretty sexy because it's Sam Malone, Steve. He's got a black book full of hotties. If you become one, it's like getting into the Hall of Fame.
But as we find out later, Miss Rebecca Howe has only one star next to her name in the black book, which is something Sam is still looking for. And, you know, it's kind of like Pootie Tang without his belt, in a sense.
Well, I mean, it's like a chef who has all these recipes that are just fantastic, but the information's gone, you know, the numbers. This isn't the 2000s. You can't store numbers on a phone. You got to remember those things off the dome. Carla, Carmen, Becky, Rebecca, all these women. It's like, he's getting into trouble, Steve. He needs it. So they get a call from Sam Malone, Steve, calling the bar to hit up Rebecca because obviously their hitch was right. He's going alphabetically. So she throws on like a sexy, like, oh, I'm going to put on some panties for you, baby. She throws in like some of that. He's like, meet me over at Cheers, sets it up. We're good to go. They're just it's like a sting now.
Basically. And a person that shows up is a kid. It's an adolescent. And he comes in looking for a girl in a leather miniskirt. And they caught him, basically. They got him in the crosshairs. They sit him down. And they grill him like, why do you call these women and not show up? And it's like, well, these are women that I might be attracted to, but because I'm a kid still, like I get cold feet and I just kind of like fuck around with them. They won't take me serious. So why did you come to this one? Why did you come this time? Well, this name had only one star next to it, so I thought it'd be easier. Thought I had a shot.
I love he has a rating system in this book. It's like Rebecca 5 star has a bunch of keywords like gaping, squirter. But I love this kid gets caught and is just like straight up like, hey man, I'm just shooting my shot.
I can't be mad at him.
And Sam Malone can't either. He's like, you're stealing my identity, but you know what, kid? I see a lot of myself in you. So give me the black book back, but here's a piece of advice and some $25 to get a better haircut. Go off, get your own pussy, young boy.
Yeah, Corey Trayers.
But as they're having this little like blowout with this kid, a celebrity walks into the bar. Alex Trebek himself walks into the bar, Steve.
The man right here.
And I think Cliff Clavin he's come in like dejected also. Yeah. So he's already there. I think we missed that. But Alex comes in. I think Carla tries to shoot her shot with him because she's like, look, I have something to tell you. And he's like, no, I don't know where Vanna White. I don't know her address. And she's like, oh, that's good because I could do anything better than Vanna White, or like I could do you better than Vanna White. Some shit like that where it's like, damn.
I could turn letters you've never seen.
Yeah. But although, you know what, Steve? Carla?
You going
at it, Steve? If you're Alex Trebek?
No. Dude, if I'm Alex Trebek, I'm going for Rebecca Howe. I'm Alex Trebek in this bitch. Come on now. Why would I mess with Carla? And like, shout out to Rhea Perlman. I know you got to be a G to deal with Danny D that whole time. You got to be a G to withhold all of that with, you know.
Yeah, you're right. But still, I mean, maybe he's in for but she looks like a wild time. He's already had all the top notch, Steve. He's looking for something weirder, something wilder.
Sam hadn't even had Rebecca yet. So like Alex ain't had her yet too. I'm just saying, I'm Alex, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
that would have
going
been
for that.
funny if he just came in, did like a lap, and just took her out. He's like, "Come on, let me take you out of this."
Yeah,
And-
girl. You
I
fun
got-
size too. I could bounce. Yeah, with the one arm, girl. Get
You
your yeah.
You know what this mustache is for, right? Let's
Mhm.
go.
It ain't the Amber Alertish kind of mustache either. Yeah, this is for grown folks.
This is the episode of Cheers I want to see, Steve. I don't know if we're ever gonna get it, but
Missed opportunity. R.I.P. to both. I'm gonna take a sip for Kirstie Alley with her fine ass.
and R.I.P. to Alex Trebek, a legend.
Again, yeah.
But I feel like Alex Trebek, it could have been weird, stiff. He's playing himself, but I think he killed this, Steve.
He did.
Because after that, he talks to Cliff. And what does he talk to Cliff about, Steve? Fill us in.
He basically telling him like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry for what happened to you on our show, and it's because of your appearance on Jeopardy that me and the producers we had to second guess ourselves, and it's about perspective. Maybe your answer was right. So you're gonna give me my 44,000 big ones? No." So you're gonna let me be a contestant on the show again? No.
Mm-mm.
But I'm thinking I'm actually quitting as the host of Jeopardy because I just feel that bad. I can't continue living with these kinds of doubts. And Cliff talks him off the edge. He's like, "Man, you know what? I can't allow this to happen. You have to stick around for America. This is Jeopardy we talking about." And Alex was just like, "You know what? You got a point. I think I will stick around. Thanks, Cliff." It's just like, and then it's like, "I'm gonna tell my mom about this moment. She's gonna be happy."
He saved America, Steve. The fabric of America. And I think somebody's like, "That's, it's sweet that you did that." He's like, No. I saw Cliff and I needed to say something to him. And because he scares me.
Oh, you too?
I've looked into the eyes of madness. I don't want that.
Yeah. It was Normie who's talking to you, man. He was like, "Really? I just came here for a beer. I just happened to run into Cliff, and I had to think on my toes." That's Alex, man. I think he's more brilliant.
He knows everything, Steve. When you know everything, you're ready for anything. That's great. I like that.
He stays ready, so you never have to get ready. And apparently, like, because this was a big deal even before I was really watching Cheers. I remember this being a thing. They, because it's a cross branding of sorts, Jeopardy and Cheers. And years down the line, whenever something like this would happen in real life on Jeopardy, Alex Trebek would refer this as pulling a Cliff Clavin. Like if somebody is up by a lot and then they just fumble the bag in Final Jeopardy, it's referred to as pulling a Cliff Clavin. So
well, there you go,
I
Cliff.
like that.
You're immortal now. You are that. I wonder if they still call it a Cliff Clavin, Steve.
The magic wouldn't be the same, but I hope they do. Come on, Mayim Bialik. Come on, Ken Jennings.
I like Ken Jennings. I do. I think that guy's good. I mean, he's the best player of all time, or one of them. So he's good at it.
But who probably didn't watch this episode of Cheers in 1990, Matthew?
Who?
Probably DC Mayor Marion Barry, because he was arrested for drug possession in an FBI sting. The bitch set me up.
Hey, you don't know what's in that pipe. You don't know what's in that pipe. And we don't, Steve. Look at that footage. And I got to say, I watched, I think it was from the Washington Post. Let me see what website this, no, this is C-SPAN. I'm sorry. But it was like an hour and a half long. It's the evidence tape. And they had multiple angles in this fucking hotel room, Steve. They were ready to go. This is some wire shit.
They had multiple from like every
like,
wall.
Is this from different time periods? But no, they're just like, okay, he got up. Let's go over to it's like a TV switcher, Steve. You could have been running the Marion Barry tape, my man.
Yeah, they had a master control operator like hiding in the closet. All right, camera one.
Man, what's that?
Camera two.
See, we had that switch? What is that? What's that? Man, hold on. Give me that crack rock. But I mean, it's hilarious if you just listen to the audio because it's just like him talking to like a hooker, isn't it? And she's just like, this shit just gets me excited. I get too excited. I just can't do it. I just get too crazy on her. She's all cracked out.
But dude, like I have family members who were on that stuff since the genesis of crack in the 80s. They're still with us. Thank God, knock on wood. But they barely have control of themselves. To think someone could overlook a whole major city, like
it's DC. I mean,
it's DC.
It's these. I mean, it's not like New York, but I'm just saying it's pretty important, you know. And this happened, and then he got reelected, right? Like he actually won another election post getting caught in a sting for smoking. Like there's video evidence. I'm watching it right now. He's smoking crack.
Chris Rock had a whole bit on it. Smoke crack, got his job back.
I mean, what was the fucking what was his like speeches like? How hard were they growing him that he still got through like that? Because I mean, it's tough to come back from any sort of scandal that has a video attached to it. And I mean, it's not just incriminating. I mean, it's there. I mean, it is incriminating. It's there.
He's tooted and booted in real time. Like, dude. And in a roundabout way, maybe he helped Bill Clinton get elected the first time because, you know, this happened before 92 when he got elected. So it's like, oh, we got a guy who smoked crack. This guy smoked a little weed.
But I mean, he pulled he pulled the ultimate, like what a lawyer tells you, just deny it. Just keep denying it. And that he, to the day he died, he kept saying like, you don't know what was in that pipe. That's tobacco, guys. Like, guy can't have a little tobacco smoke in the hotel room with a hooker. Okay, you got me. I had a hooker. I'm a mayor. I need to blow off some steam. That ain't crack.
I mean, that's the least you can do. But somebody who wasn't privy to any of this shit in 1990 on January 18th, I bet you don't know who, Matthew. Probably American actor Rusty Hamer, born 1947. And I know he's old-timey. I know him as the son on the show Make Room for Daddy. He played the son. Damn it, what was his name? His name was Rusty Williams. And Make Room for Daddy was a starring vehicle of Danny Thomas, an old-time probably vaudeville comedian. But Rusty Hamer, he was a child actor back in those times. And January 18, 1990, his brother found him dead in his trailer home in DeRidder, Louisiana. He shot himself in the head. And they said that he hasn't been happy. Yeah, he wasn't happy since his 20s. He was confused, very unhappy, trying to find work. It's the typical story of the child actor that grew up and, you know, lost his cuteness and, you know, trying to merge into the adult acting world. And it just like come up short, man.
Pulled a Corey Haim style thing where he just went to shit.
The Corey Haim, but at least Corey didn't off himself.
Yeah. Rusty, what was this guy's real name though? Rusty Haynes?
Rusty Hamer.
Hamer. Wow. Sounds like a real like farmhand type dude, you know? Sounds like he has got some bib overalls and a John Deere hat.
Maybe he was wearing that when he shot himself. But in 1991, Cadence premieres in theaters. Charlie Sheen plays a rebellious inmate in an Army stockade. Directed by Martin Sheen, starring Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, Larry Fishburne, Michael Beach, and Ramon Estevez. You're talking about nepotism.
I didn't even know that was Ramon Estevez. The fuck?
It's kind of like that third Manning brother that didn't play in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was he still going as Larry Fishburne in this, Steve? Or are we getting that level?
I want to say it wasn't until Boys in the Hood, which came out later in 91, that he became Lawrence. I have to fact check on that. But yeah, this is fresh out of King of New York. He was still Larry in 1990. And now we're in early 91. He's still Larry, man. So
he was in Apocalypse Now, right?
He was in this. They mentioned that in the M-dubs. This is his second time collaborating with Martin Sheen because of that.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't know Martin Sheen directed it. I've never seen this movie. I watched like the preview and a couple video clips from it, but It didn't look like a great movie, but it had some stars in it, Steve.
Yeah, I watched it.
With very, very dramatic. Charlie, this is still like Platoon Charlie Sheen, where we were still like giving him some like heavy lifting acting, you know?
Oh, dude, early 90s Charlie Sheen. Oh yeah, dude.
That
Like
shit.
he was in the Hot Shots. This is in between Major Leagues 1 and 2. You know, we're still taking him serious. We don't know about the tiger blood and the fucking the whores and the HIV and all of that. We didn't know. We're taking him serious.
Me and Larry Fishburne doing rails a blow, stomping the yard. I do like that his dad is just all over his dad's like the head of the prison or whatever this is, just giving him shit constantly. And basically what this is they've put Charlie Sheen in some sort of military prison or military like boys camp with black dudes, and they're like his dad's like, so you liking your bunkmates? And it's a lot of that, but you know Charlie Sheen, love it. He loves it, Steve. He
thrives on it.
Yeah, and he basically befriends all these guys. Lawrence Fishburne gives them the goods, gives them the info, and he, through his acceptance into this group, sort of, I guess, like, I don't even know what happens at the end of this, but him and his, like, he makes some friends in this prison, Steve, or whatever this is.
And throughout the whole time, it's infuriating Martin Sheen. How dare you get along with those coloreds? I'm going to shoot somebody.
You picked the wrong team, motherfucker.
You over there doing dance moves and you're playing basketball with them? What, you think you're fucking Jerry West? Because this is set in the 60s, too. So there's that. You know, you're not supposed to be mingling with the coloreds. But, hey, he makes do, as Charlie Sheen does.
It's like, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, Charlie, he's a charming guy. He's an accepting guy in this. He's not a weird, messed up lunatic. And him and Larry Fishburne, I guess, overcome the odds. Do they get out, Steve? You watched it. Do they get out? What is the denouement of this movie?
Did they get out? As time progressed, I was paying less and less attention. But I do remember one of the special needs guys in the stockade, he got shot. Sorry, spoiler alert. He got shot by Martin Sheen, because he was playing little cat and mouse games with them. And, the guy, he basically got shot down. And I do know Larry and Charlie, they survived throughout this movie. But, the fact that you just seen the preview, you don't need to go any further. You don't need to go, you know enough. Because, hey, it's got Larry Fishburne and Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen. Have you ever heard of it? There's your answer.
Where was Emilio, though? Ramon Estevez is getting some work. Why couldn't Emilio get in the mix and just throw the whole family at this?
He's got Coach Bombay responsibilities.
Shit. Well, you know what? Shout out to Charlie Sheen, man. Tiger blood, stomping the yard. Dad.
Especially early 90s Sheen, man. But in fast forward to 95, the Parenthood debuts on the WB. 5 seasons, 90 episodes. I feel like you won. You make it past 4 seasons. You made it into the syndication game, royalty checks.
Especially coming out of WB, you had to work a little harder, I feel like, to get a successful, like, syndicated show. I mean, maybe not, but
this did have Reagan Gomez, who is another 90s crush. She is just behind my shoulder, opposite of Faison.
I love that.
Yeah, she has always been on the socials, and she's still fine as a mom. And the mom on this, I always liked her. She the mom on Jason's Lyric. R.I.P. to her. I'll take a sip. And of course, there's Big Worm.
Still going strong. Still looks basically the same too. Faison love it, man.
Faison, man. And this is the starring vehicle of Robert Townsend. Of course, this was his brainchild. He's a legend. During that 80s I don't, there's a certain term for it, but there was like a collective of black comedians slash directors where it was Robert Townsend, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio. I think Paul Mooney was a part of that from the 80s going into the 90s. And Robert Townsend, he gave us Hollywood Shuffle, Five Heartbeats, The Meteor Man, and I think this was his first foray into like a family sitcom. And I ate this up along with the Wayans brothers. This was another part of that staple for WB trying to get established. It would be Wayans brothers, Unhappily Ever After, Parenthood, and I think that show I mentioned called Muscle. And for some reason, this debuted a week after the Wayans brothers did.
They wanted to hold some back. So you can't blow the full load immediately. You got to just let them see a little bit at a time.
You can't, man. But yeah, and luckily it was on HBO Max. They took it off, but now it's back on Tubi. And I don't know, maybe we'll cover some more episodes of it, man. It had its moments. But in 1998, WWF is airing Royal Rumble 98 from San Jose Arena in San Jose, California.
I don't know how you feel, but we've watched some Royal Rumbles in this show. Obviously, I watched them as a kid. This one, I'm digging it, Steve. I feel like this is a good one.
That Attitude Era, I feel we're knocking at the door. To me,
this is it. I mean, come on.
Well, hey, it's not just me. I feel like it's popular opinion that we don't get there until WrestleMania 14, which we have to cover.
They figured it out by then. You don't have to call it that, but at least Stone Cold, they figured that was cemented at this point, and it was amazing.
And as we'll see, man, like he gets a huge pop. It's established that Stone Cold is the man. And throughout this pay-per-view, we see Rocky, or now called The Rock. We see his ascension. We've covered the Survivor Series where, Rocky die. We covered the WrestleMania 13 where, he still hadn't figured it out. But now here we are, 98 Royal Rumble, and he's being heavily used.
Yeah, hell yeah. There's a couple of people in here doing a lot of double and triple duty in this shit. Yeah. Really getting some. Hopefully they got paid for it. But holy shit, excuse me. I got caught up, Steve, because I was gonna say Iron Mike himself was in the building, Steve. As excited as I was, like,
oh
Jesus.
Mike, and this is one of the many things I love about Mike. Dude, he grew up a wrestling fan, just like us, man. But because he's older, he knows the Bruno Sammartinos and all them guys. He can, I would love to have a sit down with him and just talk wrestling. Fuck boxing.
I think he would like that too, Don't just ask him about what it was like to box somebody. Be like, yo, what do you think about Goldust Vader? But yeah, man, this is a great pay-per-view. If you just factor in like the Royal Rumble part of it, this is a great Royal Rumble. The little storylines they had going throughout of it, and especially the Stone Cold shit was fantastic.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And this is sponsored by 1-800-COLLECT back when, companies were like sponsoring the pay-per-views.
Or when we were making collect calls. We don't even know what the fuck that is anymore.
And man, it only makes sense that this event was commentated by the GOAT team of Jim and Jerry and good old JR.
And the first match, Steve, Vader, we love him, and the artist formerly known as Goldust. What is he now? Blue Dust?
Well, that's what JR was calling him.
Oh, okay.
I think he was just trying to be petty. He's still doing the Goldust thing. But yeah, and he'll get snippy with you if you just refer to him as Goldust. It's the artist formerly known as Goldust.
Don't you dare. And he's coming out in crazy. They kind of like show what's been going on since he's like stopped being Goldust. We saw it. We saw when he stopped in that one match with Vader where he didn't want to like do anything. He just broken up with his wife. He disowned his family. He's been coming out in crazy fucking gear recently, like a baby with a pacifier and a diaper. traded Marlena in for Luna Vachon, which I don't support at all because Luna, she sounds like Ma Fratelli from the Goonies, Steve. I mean, it sounds crazy. And how much crack can you smoke? Let's ask her because it seems like she's cracked the fuck out.
Paperback special, Matt. She got body.
She looks like a tank. She looks like she was in Tank Girl. You know, she's got like a see-through like skirt. She's got half her head shaved with veins painted on the side of her head.
And she sounds like the coach in Major League.
It can't get any tougher. Yeah.
I don't like it. But Demolition Man Luna's out there. Vader's out there. Goldust is out there. The artist formerly known.
Artist.
Yeah. And Vader's got bad blood with this dude because basically he fucked him over. So, Vader doesn't like that. He's going to come out and whoop some ass.
Yeah. And then they also show a clip of him dressed like Sable. The artist formerly known as Goldust. He's dressed like Sable and he attacks Vader with a coconut. But,
they were just throwing him shit. Like, make it work, dude. Figure it out.
Yeah, he was going through some things, midlife crisis, I guess. But this match it's not that long. It's less than 10 minutes. And Vader, of course they have a back and forth, but Vader, he eventually Vader bombs him with Luna on his back and gets the pin.
And Luna takes she could have been injured, but luckily her head took the brunt of the damage because she comes down with Vader, but comes down like head first. So she takes more damage than fucking Goldust does, but I love it. She took a bump, Steve. She got in there.
Luna can take a pounding, Matt, and that's another reason why I like her.
Yeah. Put it in my thresher.
So... But there's a couple of things in this where people are just like strong as fuck and can catch people midair. And I know she's small in comparison, but Vader's like on a turnbuckle. She jumps up, grabs him by the neck, and he just like continues about his business like a puppy's just crawling up his body. It's crazy.
Like, Luna, we get it. You're strong, but like you can't hold down Vader. This is Vader time.
Yeah. What did you think was going to happen? And then that happens. And then we see, because, one thing everybody is trying to stress is that everyone in the WWE wants to kick Stone Cold's ass. Where's he at? When's he going to get here? He's not here yet. Well, after the Vader match, Stone Cold shows up. And one of the crazy, it's second only to the Pussy Wagon in Kill Bill. Just the most like crazy looking truck that you don't want to see coming down the road, Steve. The 316 truck.
Unless you're a fan, I'd be like giddy as a schoolgirl, man. Wow. But I don't know if it's Kevin Dunn or if it's Michael Cole trying to interview him. Like, he just got out of his truck and he's asking him like, so what do you think about everybody trying to whip your ass? He's just like, just park my damn truck, and if you scratch it out, you'll get your ass whipped. I love that. Like, the world loves it.
And I think they're giving it away, Steve. I don't know if we figured that out yet, but that truck is going to be given away at some point, imagine winning that as a kid. Like, you won that. Steve Garrett wins the 316 truck and you're driving around Perrysburg in the Texas Rattlesnake Chevy Super Duty. That's pretty dope.
That's going to get me some trim. Might not be from the girl I like, but it's
you're going to get better
something.
You go to Frickers. You go to Frickers in a 316. You're getting an HJ at least.
At the minimum.
Some lady with chapped lips. And then the next match is it's a little appetizer match, Steve. It's like a tapas match. It's a little mini match, if you will, with a bunch of mini people.
Midgets.
Steve, they're little people. One of these dudes, though, I don't even think it's right that they're letting him wrestle because he's only like 87 pounds. He's like a small child wrestling, or Max Mini, I think, is the one that is that small.
Max Mini, yeah.
It's not right, but there's a lot of fun in this. I don't know, I've referenced it a lot, but there's in Jingle All the Way, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie, he punches a little person off of the giant. And the way the little person flies in that movie, we see that a lot in this. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit.
the bar is only so high, no pun intended. Like I was more interested in like Sunny and like her movements and the tight short like spandex shorts, because the little people they're just doing different Hurricane Ranas. And it's like, man, if I want Hurricane Ranas, I go to Rey Mysterio and Scott Steiner. God damn it, in this shit, because these pretzels are making me thirsty. God damn it, like I'm just trying to get to the meat and potatoes. Luckily, this shit doesn't last more than 10 minutes. Max Mini, Mosaic, and Nova, they defeat Battalion, El Torito, and Tarantula by pinfall. Sunny, she has some...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Sunny has some involvement.
You talking about getting thirsty? When I see Sunny in this, I know she's a mess of a human being and possibly think of going to jail for the rest of her life now. But that night, god damn. Take me to Foot Locker, please. And also, King has an amazing line in this match where he's like, Max Mini is trying to learn English. I saw him reading a book in the back, and JR's like, what book? King's like, Little Women. Just every second, Steve.
He's one of the best. Like, he filled that Bobby Heenan role the best, man. Like, I feel like that was his purpose. It's kind of like the whole gorilla Bobby chemistry. Like, and Jerry was that, man. He's
a good heel announcer for sure. He's willing to say some pretty fucked up shit too. I love it.
That's hilarious. About that. And they show Mike. They show Mike again, and he's sitting with Vince and Shane and just eating it up. Just being the wrestling fan, you can see the kid coming out of him. Pause.
Dude, Shane, like to be Shane though, like hanging out in a box at Royal Rumble. Your dad owns the shit, and you're hanging out with Iron Mike, just shooting the shit. Come on, dude, it's fantastic. Shane,
I'm sure he grew up with so many situations like that. Like,
God, I just love that. That's a guy I'd love to talk to because, he was kind of like, how old is he? He's kind of be close to our age, or maybe a little older
50.
than us.
Okay. I want to say he's like just 50 at this point, but even still, like, if this was grade school, if we were in grade school, like maybe kindergarten, first grade, he would have been in junior high.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Man, living the life, just like Richie Rich, but with a cool dad that's doing cool shit. He's not a nerdy dude, but man, shout out to fucking Shane O'Mac. And the next match, Steve, the first appearance of The Rock, and he's going against Ken Shamrock, who I think we both widely agree is, it is what it is.
Wait, I think you like to shit on Shamrock. I am a Shamrock fan. I like
him as a UFC fighter. As a wrestler, not so much.
I love when he snapped, because that's when he means business. He stands on business. Ah! It's time.
This match ends weird, but before we get to the match, Rock has a promo, and this is during the Bill Clinton era where he's getting into some shit, and Rock gives Bill Clinton some advice, Steve.
Don't be silly. You got to cover it up, Willie.
You lie with the dog, you're going to get some fleas. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
He's coming into his own, and, he's shooting out them Rodney Dangerfield lines, one-liners, and it's just like, man, looking back on it, we didn't know at the time, but this dude is going to be like way bigger, like in some people's opinion, bigger than Hogan. It's not my opinion, but
it's a weird argument. It's hard to say because if you grew up when Hogan was going, like in the 80s and 90s when we did, it's like I can't really, it is kind of on that same level, but it's just a different thing.
It's a different thing, man. Yeah.
But, this keeps going back and forth. Rock, we get all the night, like the Rock moves. We get Ken Shamrock being crazy. He does pretty good in this match, honestly. He doesn't like stiff wrestle. This isn't like an Ahmed Johnson level, like abomination. It's a good match. But then near the end, It's very weird because The Rock does this weird thing with brass knucks, and I don't want to fuck this up, Steve. Explain what exactly happens here, like what the chain of events is.
So I think at one point Ken Shamrock is on the offensive, and once he has total control, I think that was the cue for D'Lo and Kama Mustafa to come to ringside and cause an interference. And so while that's going on, the referee is interfered. I think this was during a suplex that The Rock gave, and while he gave that suplex, he punched him. He punched him with the brass knuckles, and then that's what it was. He punched him with the brass knuckles. He goes for the pin, and like before he pinned him, he put the brass knuckles in his trunks. The ref goes for the 1, 2, 3. Ken Shamrock kicks out, gives him one of those belly to belly suplexes, gets the pin, and then The Rock, just thinking ahead of the game, 2 steps ahead, he tells the referee like, "No, man, check his trunks. He cheated. He cheated." So that was like a foolproof plan, I guess. It's like, just in case if I get my ass beat, I can call attention to the brass knucks, or as like Jim Ross would say, them knucks. He's got them knucks in his trunks.
He could have just pinned him though after hitting, because he knocks him out with the knucks, pins him, but just like lightly pins him. So it's almost like he wanted to just fuck around and make him look bad. Whatever. Rock somehow wins from a DQ that he creates with some knucks. Ken Shamrock, because this is for a belt. So Ken's walking around with this belt thinking he won it. The ref's like, hey, cheater, give me the belt back. And Ken Shamrock now loses it, ankle locks the ref, and it takes like 5 zebras to come out and pull him off of this ref. He won't, he's disappointed, Steve. He lost the IC belt, so.
Rightfully so. But you'll get your turn.
I mean, Ken Shamrock just Jack City, though. I mean, what was the roid cycle that dude was on? Because they got out of UFC and was like, I'm going to go fucking crazy with it. I want to look like Hulk. He's just like beefy, dude, for no reason.
Dude, he was in better situation than Hulk, man. Because Hulk, he was big, had the big like biceps and stuff, but like Shamrock had the biceps and the tone.
Yeah. He just is like, he looks like a movie villain or hero, whichever way you want to go. But I love Ken Shamrock. I've no shade, but I'm just saying, I think it's widely could be agreed that he's not the greatest wrestler of all time.
No, he had a
he
cool
played
look.
His part, he did it.
And just like John Witherspoon would say, you got to coordinate. I always liked the little, he had the Razor Ramon, like it would be the primary color with the secondary color somewhere in the trunks, and then he would have the boots and the knee pads that would have the same kind of color, color pattern. I don't know.
I just like the Street Fighter stance, I liked his like fight stance,
It's believable shit.
I mean, he could whoop your ass. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, any of these guys could, but this guy legit could. Like, he's trained, so.
So, with Stone Cold still being on the hunt, or the hunt being for Stone Cold, the Los Boricuas, they're looking for Stone Cold. Even the hairy Velcro back motherfucker. And they see somebody with a bald head and a leather jacket. And I feel like this was low-key racist. It wasn't Stone Cold. It was actually Skull from DOA. And they jump them. And then DOA, they get involved. Yeah. What's that?
I said, do we all look alike, guys? Come on.
Come on, do better, Los Boricuas.
Yeah, they put the whooping on it, but I mean, fuck that guy too. Fuck DOA.
Like we care.
But
the next match.
This is it, Steve. This is one of the highlights for me, honestly.
Yes.
But the dramatic. Okay, so it's LOD, and it's New Age Outlaws. And we've been watching the build up to this recently, where New Age Outlaws, they're coming up. LOD, they're OLD now. They're old, Steve. They're old news. They're the
still
bold
love you, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
And in this video, we see all the humiliation that they've gotten at the hands of these dudes. New Age Outlaws are just getting to LODs, Steve, in every way possible. They're even shaving. They shaved off half of Hawk's mohawk, Steve. He's got a lopsided mohawk, whatever. It's not even a mohawk. I don't even know what that was.
It's just a mo at this point. And like, as a fan, a super fan of LOD, it was low-key painful to watch, man.
I mean, it has to happen, though. And if it has to happen, at least the tag team doing it is the New Age Outlaws, because I love that, you know? Oh, you didn't know. And they come out in some Favre jerseys, and they start. This is in the Bay Area, so they just go to town on the 49ers to the crowd, start besmirching Steve Young. I know you probably love that.
He's one of the few that I respect from that franchise, but at the same time, fuck 49ers as a crew, as a record label, and as a staff, all of that shit. And it doesn't help that they're wearing Favre jerseys, because I really don't fuck with Favre or the Packers either. But a jab either way will suffice.
Yeah, enemy of your enemies, Steve. And also another storyline. Not only have they been humiliating them, but Animal might be having a bum back. His back's been fuckety. Maybe he wasn't able to wrestle, but he got the okay from the doctor today, basically, hours before the event. So now we have a promo with Animal and Hawk.
Well,
you know
something, Mikey Cole? These New Age Outlaws think they're cooler than the other side of the pillow. But they're going to be cooler tonight because we're going to put them on ice.
And Michael Cole's like, Animal, what about your back? And Animal just goes coke nasty about his back for 5 seconds. You know, it doesn't matter. Doctors don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm Animal, so fuck the bullshit. I'm going out there.
Yeah,
and he does.
Win, lose, or draw. I want to kick some ass. Even if we lose, I'm gonna make sure they get their ass whipped. So
this match starts. And I do have to point out, Road Dogg now has the crazy braid stitch that he started. That's synonymous with his look. I love that. But Animal, we're thinking he has a bad back. But like 5 minutes into this match, he catches fucking Billy Gunn midair. Like Billy Gunn's not a small dude. He catches this dude midair and just fucking suplexes the shit out of him. And I'm just like, how strong is this motherfucker? It's crazy. I know he didn't have a bad back, but still, it's fucking crazy.
Like, they're the goats of tag team, man. They can make the impossible possible. He hits Billy Gunn with a power slam. Then he gets hit in the back with a chair as he tries to get the pin. So, I forgot to mention Hawk. He's handcuffed halfway through the match. Road Dogg somehow, some way, he handcuffs Hawk. So he's basically like stranded, and like he's yelling out to his boy, Animal, Animal! And he's yanking. But in all fairness, Animal in the ring is holding it the fuck down. He reverses the ring toss. He fucking double clotheslines him. And, he's doing his thing, man. And that's when he hits him with the power slam. And then around that time, that's when he gets hit with the chair across the back, man. And so LOD, they win the DQ, but, they don't get the belt, which, I mean, I'm sure New Age Outlaws are okay with. But Hawk breaks away and he clears house.
Because they're beating on Animal's ass still with that chair in his back. So Hawk's losing it, and eventually he just says he goes full fuck it, and just maybe I don't know what those cuffs are made of, but he muscles a fuck. It looks crazy as fuck.
They could have been real cuffs. This is Hawk we talking about, man.
That gave him a pop. Somebody walked over and gave him a popper. He's like, ah! But it pops off. He saves his boy. But New Age Outlaws, they fucking 4D chest them because they didn't lose those straps, Steve. They're still the tag team champions. So
that's like rule number 1 in championship villainry. Shit, if we losing, let's just do some illegal shit. We leave home with the belts. Go home with the belts. Shit, we lost the match, but shit, we leave them with the merchandise.
And so then we cut from that, and now it's time to give away Stone Cold's truck, Steve. And I love this because the woman they just announce who it is, and it's someone named Mildred Bowers from Nashville, Tennessee. So it seems like an elderly woman won the Austin 316 super truck. I love that.
Yeah, she can only use it in the fucking AM because she can't see good at night. So
I don't give a damn.
I don't give a rat's behind.
Oh man, I just would love God, just to see Steve driving around in this in Perrysburg. I can just see it now. God, you would have been so cool.
Cooler.
Yeah, no. I mean, you were cool, but I'm just saying this. You would have been.
I don't think Mildred Bowers is going to look cool rocking this truck, though.
Do you think
Like,
that was a real thing, though? Does Mildred Bowers exist? Because did they give this thing away? It seemed kind of like low energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm calling bluff. It probably like that. Like that's probably Vince McMahon, one of his many fucking trucks for his 24 car garage. He's like, it's a tax write off.
Hey, we got a winner, Mildred Bowers, and the guy goes away, and you see him like he did it. He's the one that filled out that form. 3D chess, motherfuckers. But now it's time for the big dance, Steve. Mildred, she's going to get to collect that truck at a later date. But now it's time for the Royal Rumble. And for those that don't know what it is, 30-man elimination thing where you got to go over the top rope. So, I'm going to let you run through the order of this, Steve. I didn't keep the full order. I got some highlights I just want to bring up. But I do got to say, I love, and this is why I think this one's really cool, like in a lot of ways. One of the cool things starts off with two straight hardcore legends, Cactus Jack and, Chainsaw Charlie, but it's Terry Funk,
Take another sip. And I forgot to take a sip for Hawk and Animal, man. For all three, I'm going to finish this cup and refill it. Fuck it. But yeah, dude, they're starting off like Chainsaw Charlie comes down with the chainsaw, and it's a real chainsaw with no guard on it, because as you'll see, when Cactus Jack is outside throwing chairs, he catches one of the chairs, he hits it with the chainsaw, and you see sparks flying out that motherfucker. So this ain't no bullshit like play school chainsaw.
I didn't even remember Chainsaw Charlie I didn't remember that at all. Like now seeing it, I do, but I forgot Terry Funk was doing this in the WWF. But I just like this as a start because it's just these two guys in the ring. They have this history anyway, if you know wrestling. And, Terry Funk has these weird mannerisms too. Like when he gets brutalized, like his way of showing damage and stuff it's kind of like a low rent Ric Flair, like a drunk Ric Flair style. I love it.
Guess how old Terry Funk is in this Royal Rumble?
In this Royal Rumble?
In this Royal Rumble.
It's going to be something low that is crazy because he looks old as shit. 40?
Oh, no. He's 53.
Oh my God. How long was Terry
badass.
Funk wrestling into his life, Steve?
Into his 70s, bro. That's just how badass this dude is. He is so committed to this craft, man.
It's crazy he took that much punishment too, and he could still do that shit. But they kill it. And then again, every 90 seconds, boop, boop.
Tom Brandy, the big Italian, and his running down the ramp was longer than his time in the ring. 12 seconds he lasted. 12 fucking seconds. Tom Brandy, who are you?
And then back to Chainsaw and Cactus. And then more boop, boop, boop. Who's next, Steve?
It's the People's Champion, Jabroni, The Rock. And I don't think he broke a record, but he has the longest stay this time. Every year in Royal Rumble, there's always like that one guy who has the longest tenure inside the ring.
Yeah.
And this year, this is more evidence that this is the ascension of the Rock. Like they have big plans for this guy. He's going to the top, man. And 51 minutes, 32 seconds, man. That's close to an hour.
God. So when they're in this, and maybe I asked this the last time we talked Royal Rumble, how do they because I know they're coordinating, and if you're in a regular match, you do some preparation where you're practicing stuff, the sequence of events. How do they do this in the Royal Rumble though? Do they just walk around and then like grab a guy and like, hey, I'm gonna throw you and clothes on you? Like, is it like that, or is there like a full script for all this shit?
Bro, you stumped me. I don't know the complete answer, but I do know that they do that, throughout this shit. They do that whispering shit, but they also have like plants in the audience that give out cues. They have,
okay.
the referees that are on the outside, they play a part into it. So I don't think that could be answered with just, with one solution, man.
I'd
I
love to
think
hear
there's,
that, like somebody that was in one of these, like really, or any of them, like even the new ones, like how that's done. Cause it seems it's cool to watch, but it's like, man, how do they fucking figure this shit out? Not like hurt each other and shit, It's crazy.
Like we're seeing The Rock coming to his own, like I said, man. And like, while Chainsaw and Mick Foley or Cactus Jack, they're going back and forth. Rock, he jumps in and he has this thing where he's like, what do we have here? What do we have here? Like, I love this arrogance, this new Rock that he's just like finding within himself, just like, yeah, like this works for you because that curly flippy hair with the fucking fanny pack, that wasn't it. Like this arrogant with the Master P button downs and shit. I like this, like fresh off of a No Limit album cover. This works for you. And I think I think he knows, man. Like, yeah, this is gonna be my back.
Well, I think also when you like, I don't think it's nice to hear people say like Rocky died, but when you're getting a pop either way live, it's working. Like that's proof positive. It's like, damn, like this shit is working. Gangbusters. I mean, there's some wild fucking signs. This is like the heyday of the crazy. I'm surprised they don't go through and blur some of the shit out because there's a lot of like out of pocket signs out there in this event.
Didn't one of them say Rocky's a fag or something?
Yeah. Rocky's a bleep, Steve.
Yeah, sorry. I can't even say it. And this is like a reaction to something that was said. But so now The Rock, at one point, he gets the trash can over his head, and Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack, they double team him. Let's show him how us extremists do it. So he's got the trash can over his head. They're banging him with the chair, and they're giving him 2 pieces, 4 pieces with the breast and the thigh and the biscuit. And eventually Mosh comes out, and that's the headbangers. Yeah. Boo him. Don't boo Rocky. Shit.
Hit his ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Headbangers. He gets a couple in. Who's the next guy, Steve?
The next guy is Phineas Godwin, and he lasts kind of long, man. 28 minutes, 48 seconds, longer than he should have. And after that, 8 Ball from the DOA, he comes in. He lasts longer than he should have. He was in there for 30 minutes, 43 seconds. And I think Cactus Jack, he eliminates himself because he was trying to go after Terry Funk at the ropes. And this is a faux pas in Royal Rumble. You never do that. When your opponent is at the ropes, you don't run to your elimination. That's what Cactus Jack did. Chainsaw, it was one of them deals where he's like, oh my God, I'm stuck. And so Cactus Jack, he tries to like go over and then basically, but he'll be back.
But I was going to say, I think he knows. He'll be back.
And this is iconic because there are memes still made about this. I don't think this has happened ever when one performer portrays 3 different people in the Royal Rumble.
There's nobody that's ever done that, especially like in the same time period, the same he was doing all these every week. He could pick and choose which one I wonder how he did that, but he'll be back, Steve.
Shot for Mick. He's still with us, but man, you're a fucking boss, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
My favorite match of all time. That Hell in a Cell was fucking epic.
I mean, so many memorable matches, and he's great in this.
You can't eliminate Terry Funk. Not that easy, though. But next, we have Black Jack Bradshaw. I think he lasts the second longest, 35 minutes and 45 seconds. Not too long after that, Owen Hart comes out, but his shit gets interfered by Jeff Jarrett, Jarrett, along with Jim Cornette. And Jim Cornette, I want to say he puts that paddle to him at one point.
He's got it in his hand, Steve. Use it. So what is this? Was the NWA part where they like, because they make it out like he's in here. Like, is he an outsider, or is that just a championship that they've integrated into the WWF at this point? I don't remember this.
It was just like ECW, where Paul Heyman, he did like a consignment with Vince McMahon. Jim Cornette kind of had a consignment deal with Vince, where he would bring in like the Midnight Rockers, and he would bring in some of his guys from like the what do you call it, the Blue Hills, the Blue Valley, whatever the fuck that shit, the Kentucky, Tennessee shit.
Okay.
He would bring in some of them people, and Jeff Jarrett. I guess this one is not as like far fetched because Jeff Jarrett was already in WWF, but he has roots in Tennessee. But
he whoops the shit out of Owen. He can't even get in the fucking match, Steve. He just gets his ass whooped, and he doesn't even go at this point, at least. But I love Jeff. I love me some Jeff Jarrett. Like looking back, I love the Double J persona. Is he slaying Slapnut yet? Because that's really where I locked into it. But
the Slapnut thing doesn't come into effect until Deborah. Like when he is with Deborah and he's tag team with Owen, when they become partners. I think that's when he starts hitting people with that guitar. I think that's when that becomes a thing, man. But next coming out is Steve Blackman, another certified badass who you don't want to rub the wrong way, man. And Chainsaw at this point is still in the game. I think by the time Steve Blackman comes in, we're about 20, maybe 30 minutes into this shit.
I like Chainsaw also gives him like a little like Bruce Lee stance shit before they get into the mix too. I love that.
You start beating his ass, starts doing that drunk master shit. Oh.
I just like when Terry Funk gets hit in like the head, he'll fall and he'll do like he has like brain damage where his legs start shaking and shit. He does like the little seizure. Yeah. It's fucking fantastic.
Another shot. But after that though, D'Lo Brown comes out, man, and he represents 32 minutes, 21 seconds. Me and you, I will never stop doing this.
So fucking baller, dude. And at this point, because here's another storyline in The Rock, Nation of Domination. There's some weirdness there. And The Rock is wants to be the guy who's getting the push from them because he's like, I'm the champ. I got the strap. Why are you guys? I'm the one that should win the Royal Rumble. So there's like some weird issues here, but The Rock and D'Lo just get in the mix immediately. They start whooping. I think The Rock starts whooping D'Lo's ass first, and then D'Lo gets in and starts whooping his ass, talking shit.
Yeah, it's one man for himself, man. That allegiance goes out the window. And Kurgan, he shows up. Yeah, he doesn't last long. I thought it was funny that Chainsaw had his hand out as Kurgan's coming down, and as he got closer, Chainsaw just turns around and he's just doing his his middle-aged man like stroll, just like, oh, let me see what else is going on in this motherfucker, because I ain't that's a big motherfucker. Like, I was just playing with you.
Big, but look at that, goddamn.
Psych.
He ain't in that long, and it does take like 8 dudes to get Kurgan out, but he can't be out there that long, Steve. He's just gonna pass out.
But before that, Mosh, he gets eliminated by Kurgan, so that's one of Kurgan's fatalities. And after that happens, Marvelous Mark Merrill with Sable comes out, and he lasts a reasonable time, like a little less than 20 minutes, man. But shortly after that, Kurgan, he throws out Blackman. And D'Lo and The Rock, they're fighting. They kind of like focus on each other. They're having a back and forth. And while that's happening, Ken Shamrock comes out, and he's gunning for The Rock. Shit, you just stripped me of my title. Put some brass knuckles up, next to my balls. Like I can't let this live down.
Yeah, and just going back to that real quick, I'm just thinking this out loud. Are you numb from the waist down, Ken? Because you didn't feel those rattling around in those very small briefs while you were wrestling? Weird. But he's got it out for The Rock, Steve. And they let him back in. I like King points this out. This dude just assaulted multiple refs. Should he be in the Royal Rumble, Steve? Shouldn't there be a little bit of repercussions for that? Because that's out of pocket. And I don't support that.
Hey, that's out of trunks. And as Ken Shamrock comes out, he lays into Kurgan. you would think his immediate focus would be on The Rock, but he lays into Kurgan. He's putting them drop kicks on them kneecaps, on the kneecaps, and all of that shit. And it took 8-Ball, Bradshaw, Chainsaw, and Phineas and The Rock to eliminate Kurgan. 3 minutes.
Come together. But I do like he did cut the tree down, Steve. He went for those leg kicks and it was just like whack, whack, whack. And suddenly Kurgan's 5 foot tall. You had to bring him down. That guy is crazy looking though. He looks like he was created in a lab in Russia, Like that comes out to fight Captain America in a movie, basically. We've perfected the serum. And that's what comes out.
From a Tom Clancy novel or some shit.
Oh yeah.
And Thrasher comes out, the other half of the Headbangers. No one gives a fuck. Somehow he lasted longer than an episode of Martin. 28 minutes and 8 seconds. But shortly after Thrasher comes out, Mankind comes out. This is the second rendition of Mr. Mick, and Mankind, he takes out Chainsaw Charlie. Finally, the old man can rest.
Go take a sip of, get whatever you need, Terry. He put in some work though. Goddamn. Multiple concussions. He took a couple of chair shots. He did what he needed to do, Steve. He almost killed a guy with a real chainsaw. Take the fucking chain off, guys. You just need the sound. It's crazy.
Probably pissed and shit himself. He is at that age, and you're doing like high impact shit, man. Maybe he's wearing Pampers, but now the artist formerly known as Goldust with Luna, he comes out and he lasts pretty long at 26 minutes, and he eliminates Mankind. But hey, this isn't the last we see of Mr. Foley.
Yeah. Also, the artist formerly known as he comes out in a different shit where he has like a bikini painted on his outfit. He does last so long, his face paint completely melts, Steve. He looks insane.
It's a different one than this one. Yeah.
It's not that. It's a silver one with literally black bikini painted on. So he's walking around looking like some kind of space hooker or some shit.
Just gross. Just so gross.
Just gross. That's what it was, really. He's just trying to be as gross as possible. So shout out, Dustin. You did it.
But now it's time for JARRETT with Jim Cornette again. But he lasts not even longer than goddamn Tom Brandy or whatever the big Italian's name was. Owen, like he heats the fuck out of Jared. Like I'm talking about world star worthy, like Uncle Phil worthy. The fuck out of here. He flies out of that ring.
I gotta say, Owen's also rocking like a weird 5 o'clock shadow look. This is evil Owen Hart now, He's doing like the Hollywood shit.
Screwed my brother, eh?
It's not cool, eh? You're not getting any Tim Hortons, eh?
No free episodes of Kids in the Hall. But now, Honky Tonk Man comes out looking well past his prime.
Why?
Why?
What was he involved in wrestling? Was he wrestling currently?
No. And the only connection was, Road Dogg, because I think there was some kind of association with Road Dogg, but that was so far removed. I think Honky Tonk Man might have been his manager when he became Rockabilly.
Okay.
It's kind of fuzzy for me because those mid-90s times were, I wasn't paying attention. But
Honky Tonk, he was never even why, and I didn't even like him in his prime, Steve.
I did not care for him in his prime when he had the belt. But this is a thing that, WWF/E likes to do. They like to call back to an old school guy just to get that pop. And this is 98, he was known in the 80s. So at the time, I guess it felt good to see him like an old school guy come in.
Let's whoop the shit out of an old man while we can. Let's do it. But he's here, Steve. Honky Tonk. He's the Honky Tonk Man. He's the Honky Tonk Man. He doesn't even have a guitar, flabby. Steve. He's got a singlet that's ill-fitting. A pompadour that just looks crazy as fuck. He looks like a guy you don't want to run into in an alley at a truck stop of some kind, but Yeah.
What, out of fear? Shit. Man, I'm like,
He's
well, I'll
gonna
slap
throw
the fuck
something
out
in
of
your
honky tonk.
drink, Steve. This guy's
Oh.
he's got ill intentions, you know.
Oh, if you're saying that, I was like, I thought you were saying that out of fear. Like, I'll slap the fuck out of honky tonk man. But he's in here, he lasts like 20 minutes. But like, I'm more interested in what happened as he's coming out. Triple H and China are right behind him.
I wonder why. That's weird.
I wonder why. Yeah. Because while that's happening, The Rock, he eliminates Ken Shamrock. So like, he got screwed by The Rock twice in one night.
I love that.
Pause. You know, and then so Owen, he's at ringside and he's having a shouting match with Triple H and China. And of course, Triple H, he's playing his Tiny Tim shit with his crutches, like, oh, I'm hindered, I'm mobile, but I can't walk. So like, China, she throws the fucking one of the crutches at him, he catches it. So while that happens, Triple H comes and fucking hits him with the second one, and it takes a team. They both eliminate him, despite not even being in the fucking match.
They have, I mean, it's Triple H and China. See, they got to do something. They got to affect the Royal Rumble in some way. And, you know, it's DX, Steve. I am not a nugget. Speaking of which. Eliminated.
And after that happens, Ahmed Johnson comes out, tight booty jean shorts and all, with the do-rag. And, you know, I kind of feel bad for Dude in a way, watching these shoot interviews, because the Nation Domination collectively, I don't know what The Rock's opinion is. They don't like him.
They tell you too. They bitch him out as much as possible. I don't know. I mean, I know he has a bad attitude. I think that was one of the things that people said. But yeah, he doesn't get treated nice, Steve. They definitely don't treat Ahmed Johnson with a lot of respect, but he does keep his booty cheeks in his shorts, and I respect. That's nice. Again, we're getting that. He figured that. Did he? I think so.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I don't have a note here that his ass popped out, and usually we try to notate that.
Yeah, there was one clip that kind of snuck up on me, man. But like shortly after he comes out, Mark Henry, he's the next guy. And this lets me know that maybe Vince doesn't like him either, because, you know, the Nation, they don't fuck with him. It's just like, well, let's book him right after another Nation guy, or before another Nation guy. But the person who comes out after that is supposed to be Skull. But Skull was the guy who got ambushed by Los Proiguas. So,
oh yeah, okay. Now I do remember that. Yep. So that's because then King's like, well, that had to be Stone Cold. They must have gotten his ass. He ain't coming.
His mind is made up. Yeah, he really not only do the wrestlers have it in for Stone Cold, like even from the commentary booth, playing his heel role, it's like, oh, he's a spineless coward. He's not going to show up.
But I mean, dude, keep going. Who's the next guy?
Well, Ahmed, he's eliminated by D-Lo and Mark Henry, because the Nation don't fuck with him. Okay. And Phineas, he's eliminated by Mark Henry, who then, as Phineas is eliminated, he kicks a referee in the head, giving him an actual concussion. I don't because they replayed that. Yeah, they replayed that when Mark Henry eliminated dude, that he kicks the guy in the back of the head. You know how the refs are outside of the ring, man. But up next is Kama Mustafa. And as Kama Mustafa comes out, he pushes the fuck out of Ahmed. That's when I really felt bad.
Yeah, dude. That's what I clocked. I have that right here, dude. That's hilarious.
Because you've seen some of the interviews where they talk about Ahmed, right?
Yeah.
And like knowing that and watching that, it's like, damn, they basically put two Nation of Domination guys after you. And this guy, who's big as fuck. You don't want them problems with Kama / Godfather / Papa Shango. And because he's a big motherfucker. And Ahmed doesn't even respond. And the reason I felt bad is because he knew he was outnumbered. It's like, I'm a big motherfucker too. But like, if I wanted to have that kind of energy, I would be facing 4, 5 other big motherfuckers. And they don't like me.
Yeah, right. They're gonna come back here eventually. I'm gonna have to get my ass kicked. But what a funny way to bitch somebody out. I can't just.
He already got eliminated.
The fuck out. I was like, man, get the fuck out, bitch.
I'm eliminating you even more. Bitch, get off the ramp, motherfucker, before you walk back. That's so cold, bro. Damn,
so
Ahmed.
Hilarious.
He's still with us, but damn, out of sympathy, because I have a good heart.
You do, man. I mean, Ahmed Johnson, we're hard on you too, but that sucks. I've been bitched out in my life, but damn, that's on live TV. That's tough.
But I'm also a fan of everybody from the nation. So there's that. And he lasts about 14 minutes. Stone Cold is the next guy. And all eyes are on him like Tupac Shakur, goddammit. And everyone's waiting for the rattlesnake. They're looking at the ramp, they're looking sideways, diagonal ways, and he's playing 4D chess. He comes from the aisle from behind everybody, and he's just laying in the motherfuckers. He throws out Mark Merrill with his punches. Oh, you supposed to be a boxer? Okay, Mark Merrill, marvelous motherfucker. Wow, send your ass back to your wife on the ringside. He throws out 8-Ball. Get the fuck out of here, you old Wish.com
like
wannabe Stone Cold. Yeah, that's why they jumped your boy. They thought he was me. Shit, y'all could never. Shit, y'all could never. Take off that leather jacket too, motherfucker, without the sleeves.
I mean, I just love how when they hear his music, it's not just like, this is a Royal Rumble. You got to beat everybody, but everyone in the ring is waiting for him to come in like, we're all going to whoop his ass. And he whoops everyone's ass in the ring. He doesn't kick everyone out, but he literally waylays everybody. And you can't stop this dude, Steve. It's a Texas rattlesnake.
2 casualties.
Jesus.
Yeah. 2 casualties within a minute. So shit. He didn't kick everybody's ass, but he caused some damage. And up next is Henry O. Godwin, the Hog, who he's covered with this Confederate flag shit. His real name is Mark Canterbury, who's actually from DC. So
Mark Canterbury.
But next is Savio Vega in all of Los Boricuas. And Savio Vega is the only one from Los Boricuas in the match. They even got Velcro back coming out because they want to lay into Stone Cold. It's like there's a bounty on his head.
Well, I mean, they get in there. I like what are the refs? What is the point of it other than to be like, you went over the top? Like, because these guys just come in. I mean, China, Triple H, they got in the mix. We got 5 dudes in here for one. So, I mean, if you're in a group, throw it in. Everybody come out. Try to get some licks in. But this guy with the hair on his back, somebody needed to do this motherfucker a favor and get him a wax session or some lasering or something. Because it's like off-putting, The
only thing he can do is be a heel. You can't have a body like that and be people aren't going to clap for you. You it's written in stone. Unless you do some electrolysis, bro, you're going to be a heel.
Good luck being popular because everybody that sees you is like, oh my God. Ugh.
You're like Eugene Levy times 25.
Yeah, dude. You're like Robin Williams' forearms, just fucking caked. That's just nasty, dude. But
that's what it is, dude.
That's a good self-defense technique. It's like an armadillo, but just with gross hair.
Damn, you just slapped my wife, but
Lonnie, let's go.
To touch you?
You got some problems, man.
Yeah. Hey, bartender, close me out. I want to touch that motherfucker.
Oh,
but next we got Farouk, the leader for now of the nation. And while that's happening, Stone Cold and The Rock duke it out. And I feel like this is important because this is a look into the future. These are the 2 guys, they're going to be the faces of this Attitude Era. WrestleMania 15. I believe it was 2 WrestleManias in a row, if I'm not mistaken. The main event changed in between time, but I think they had another one, either 18 or 19, and but those were the top guys of this league.
I mean, you throw Triple H and Shawn Michaels in, it's like 4 people that are leading, the main motherfuckers leading that charge. But yeah, it is cool to see them. It is cool to see Rock. We've gotten to watch him, get to this point. It is cool to see him be a fucking straight up heel, he's like an evil Elvis almost, I love it. Shit talking.
It's a better look on him, man. And he knew that. It's like that's why he was so good at it, man. It's like this goody two shoes shit, the third generation. Like, man, they telling me to die with all that Jim Ross is trying to sell on my behalf. They're telling me to die. Like, let me just go rogue and just be like, you know what? I'm pretty as fuck. All right. Like, I'm the best champion. I'm the best intercontinental. I'm the people's champion. All right. I don't give a fuck what you're saying.
I love it. People hate you and you call yourself the people's champ. I love that too.
It's fucking legend, bro.
It's the Brahma Bulls, dude. Yeah, there you go.
And up next, it's the third part of this trifecta. Hey, and he comes in, man, guns a blazing, and he eliminates Bradshaw. Thank God, because I do not like John Layfield Bradshaw as a person, as a character, as an industry, as a record label. Fuck him.
Nah.
Especially with the shoot interviews, I hear he's a piece of shit.
I mean, he just seems like he says the N-word on a daily basis. So not even like looking around. He just says it like openly, you know, for sure. Which is weird because he was with Farouk. So I'd feel like Farouk would slap the taste out of his mouth, but still, he just has like a shitty look.
Yeah, it's just the shitty aura. But we do see early rendition of the people's elbow with the whole, but he does it on his stablemate, D'Lo. Like, him and D'Lo are going at it, like, throughout this shit. Despite being in the same stable, he does the full thing, like going back and forth with other people in the ring. It's that bitch.
And it's crispy too. I forgot about a nice people's elbow, Steve. I love it.
Especially when he does
when the slow-mo, when he was doing the elbow pad, and he even incorporated the elbow pad. I mean, damn. This guy, he's a marketing genius, Steve.
Vintage Rock. Oh, man. And then the next guy is Chains. So this is the third of the DOA. And, you know, we don't give a fuck because he lasts less than 5 minutes. But the last person, it's time. It's Vader time. And Jim Ross, going back to what we know from these shoot interviews, he refers to him as that big old stinky grizzly bear. So maybe this was known back then as like, man, if you got a match with this motherfucker, like, hold your nose.
Minging, just smelling like straight dog shit. But I would not want, you're tired as fucking see that guy coming down the thing? Damn. God damn it.
I want to watch again to see if anybody like does this when he comes there. Like, oh shit.
But it doesn't go good for Vader, Steve. I mean, he ain't gonna win this shit. This ain't the Vader Royal Rumble. You know? They get some Febreze and Febreze ass out of here.
It's pretty evident. I think the line is kind of skewed these days. When if I watch Royal Rumble these days, I don't know. I feel like it's more up in the air. But around this time, bro, we kind of know who's going to do it. Who's going to take it all. But Vader, he does eliminate Honky Tonk, thank God. And I'm surprised he lasted this long. Stone Cold eliminates Thrasher and Kama back to back. Stone Cold also eliminated Sabio a little bit later. Goldust eliminates Vader. Henry, Godwin, the Hog, he's eliminated by Duke Love. Goldust is eliminated by Chains. Mark Henry, he's eliminated by Farouk, his own stablemate. And now I think we're down to the 4 with Duke Love, Stone Cold, The Rock, and Farouk. So it's basically the 2 former tag team championship holders, Duke Love and Stone Cold, versus the Nation, The Rock, and Farouk.
And they go at it, Steve. The Stone Cold, Dude Love, they've done this before. So they just get to her and start whooping that ass. And at some point, I think The Rock turns on Farouk and gets him out. He eliminates Farouk.
Of course he's going to turn on him, but the Farouk, he's actually eliminated by Dude.
Is he? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, he's eliminated by Dude. And, No, I'm sorry. You're right. I take that back. Farouk eliminates Dude, and The Rock eliminates Farouk. So now it's The Rock and Stone Cold.
Okay. Yep. And I mean, this is it, Steve. Like you said, this is like the fight for the future of WWE, basically.
we're looking into the future, man. And they're going back and forth, and eventually, Stone Cold, he does like a whip into, like, try to toss him out. The Rock comes back, lands on the apron, comes back in, and Stone Cold, he doing his sixth senses. He turns around like, oh, I didn't eliminate that son of a bitch. Let me turn around, give him a stunner. And he basically just like makes him all weeble minded and shit. It's like, oh, I got his ass now. Throws him out. Stone Cold faces the champ.
So he gets to go against whoever the champ is at WrestleMania. It's it, Steve. Bam, bam, bam. But you know what's crazy about Royal Rumbles? That ain't even the main event. We got another match. So Stone Cold, here's your flowers. But we got a dead man and a Heartbreak Kid to get to here, Steven. There's some bad blood here that I forgot all the build up to this. We got a lot of fucking storylines going here. Kane, Undertaker, that shit. HBK just fucking humiliating the WWE in general, just being the sexy boy, Steve.
Sexy boy. And this is an ongoing thing, man. I think this all stemmed from Bret Hart and Undertaker having that match with Shawn Michaels as guest referee that happened like last year or the previous year. And Shawn Michaels ends up hitting Undertaker, like aiming for Bret Hart, moves out of the way at the last second. And like they've been going back and forth ever since, man. They had the first ever Hell in a Cell match that previous year. I think there was another match in between that before we got to this Royal Rumble, man. And along the way, he's picked up some accomplices. Triple H and China always play a part in his matches.
Yeah. And this is a coffin match. So you got to get a guy in the coffin and you got to close the lid completely. And that's how you win this match. Crazy. Weird. And the Undertaker's already had a couple of these. This isn't like the first coffin match ever, but there's a lot of good fucking shit in here. And I do have to say that one thing I noted, Shawn Michaels hits one of the most crazy pile drivers on the Undertaker on the steel steps. It's one of the, it looks great. I'm sure it's safe, but I was like, I would never agree to this. It looks fucking crazy. And I have one question. Before you tell the tale of this match, Steve, who does an elbow drop better? Macho Man or Shawn Michaels?
Macho Man. Come on now.
I don't know, dude. I don't know because you're right. You're probably right. But there's one little spice that Shawn Michaels adds that I didn't notice when he's doing in the air. He does a slow motion Ryu thing before he hits the elbow drop. That's so sick. It's so sick.
I got to go to the archives for that. But for one, there's an Ohio bias because if you look at Macho's wiki, it says Columbus, Ohio, but at the same time, man, if you look at the shit that he did in the 80s and even in the early 90s, man, he was like Michael Jeffrey Jordan in the fucking air, bro. I don't think Shawn had that kind of air time. Like my guy would get up there. But
I don't know. We'll go back. I'm telling you. I'll put it in here because they show it in the replays. He does he charges up Super Saiyan midair and throws it right before. It's fantastic. But think about it, Steve. Get back to me on that.
Okay. I will say this though. If we're talking punches, Shawn Michaels has some of the best punches because he does this jump step where he makes the ring shake. It's I can't do it because I'm sitting down, but it's he does the this shit is just I don't know, electric to me, man. But elbow drops, man. Macho, man. I gotta go.
Okay. I'll agree to disagree. But there's, like I said, a lot of great moves. I do at one point because you got to get the guy in the coffin Michaels gets Undertaker in the coffin, and he's won the match, Steve. Like I think at this point he's like Undertaker's fully knocked out for some reason, but he has to throw like a crotch chop in just to like put an exclamation on it. And as he's crotch chopping, Undertaker just gets a nice handful of nuts, and that's how he gets out of the coffin at one point. What a great moment!
He's got them nuts. Oh my God! By God, he got them nuts.
He just fucking crushed his nuts. Oh my God. But we get a lot of people interrupting this.
Yeah.
I think New Age Outlaws and Los Boricuas both come out at some point, don't they?
They do, man.
Why did Los Boricuas come out again? What was going on with them? Were they just being sicked on people or just had a bad night? I don't know what was going on there.
Great question, because I don't know either. I just think maybe they needed to fill some time. Because they didn't have, like, maybe Vince couldn't figure out what to do with them. It's like, yeah, you just run out in the Taker Shawn Michaels match. Yeah. But something that needs to be mentioned though, like it's in this match that Shawn Michaels jeopardized his career. Because he runs after Taker, like at the ropes that are like by the casket, and he does like a backflip, and he like just barely grazes his back, and he's in pain going into WrestleMania 15 of that year. And after the one where he lost some stone, it's after that he does like a little mini retirement. Like they played it back in this match, and it at the time looked like be like that catastrophic, but it was that big of a deal, man. Like
it's crazy. I mean, he does so many of that. He does that so many times too. Like I feel like that was like one of his signature like moves where he would like flip over the turnbuckle and stuff. But man, it is crazy that it does, because there's nothing in this looks like, well, I mean, they take some crazy bumps, but nothing like catastrophic, like you said. But man, that does suck. Definitely probably shortened his career quite a bit.
Because you can't help but think like how much of a difference he would have made. Like when they added New Age Outlaws and X-Pac, like the fact that you would have those guys with Triple H and China and Shawn Michaels, but like that was the time when he sat down when they added all those guys. So it's just like, damn. And dude, it's Shawn, bro. You know he would have added something to the mix, man.
Oh yeah. That DX tape would have been way saucier for sure.
I didn't sleep with that woman. I was up all night. Like little. I love that game.
And then at some point also, you know, while Undertaker's in trouble, Kane comes out. And you think Kane's like saving the day, right? Kane's like, they've made up kind of. I think they show Undertaker like sort of stepping up for his baby bro, you know, and they sort of make up a little bit. But Kane comes out in this and
he clears house.
Yeah, helps. It looks like he's helping the Undertaker out, but then he whoops the Undertaker's ass, choke slams his ass into the coffin, and he actually is the one that wins the match for Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels wins this match, and it's because of Kane.
Shawn Michaels just like, he closes the lid. It's like, all right, my work's done.
Bye.
Still champ.
I'll take this belt. Thank you.
Bye.
But then Kane, it's like, well, he turned on his bro. Paul Bearer comes out. He's got a bunch of locks, which I don't like a guy like Paul Bearer just having a bunch of padlocks on him. It's questionable.
I don't like guys like Paul Bearer in general. Like, you're big as fuck, you're fluffy, you have 7 chins, and like, I wouldn't trust my wallet, my children around you. Yeah.
And they lock Undertaker into this coffin. Kane, for some reason, decides to take an axe to the coffin, really doing no damage for a while. It was like really a loss of time for no reason. It was kind of like stupid. But then they set the shit on fire, and I'm sure there was a trap door or whatever. But I mean, Undertaker's dead, Steve. He's blistered up.
Well, they did a great job of selling it at the time. But in hindsight, the man ended up winning like 13, 14 more WrestleManias in a row. So,
Well,
there
I
had to
thought
be
we
a
witnessed a
trapdoor
murder at the time, Steve. I thought
at the time.
Undertaker was dead. You know,
At the time.
this is right up there for when he locked Ultimate Warrior in the casket, and I thought he had killed Ultimate Warrior on live TV. You know, they were good at this. But
I'll
Kane,
never
the
forget
Brotherhoods,
this.
it's still there's something not there, Steve. I thought they were gonna, fully make up here. I forgot this storyline, but Kane, he just killed his bro.
And that's how we end this pay-per-view, man. Just like take her up in flames. But we've seen this before. 1994 Royal Rumble, they all doubled up and triple teamed up on him and put him in the casket in the Yokozuna match. And then he showed up on the screen, and then they had to make another Undertaker, and then he came back. And just like that, he'll come back in this one.
Mark Callis will be back, you fucks. But what a great Royal Rumble. What a great, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The moments we get for him just bitching out Michael Cole and then bitching out every wrestler in the WWE in ring. I mean, fantastic.
I got a target on my back. I don't give a damn, son. I'm the baddest motherfucker alive. And then Iron Mike, I don't know if you caught this. They like
Cold
right before
Steve Austin.
Cold Stone. I love Cold Stone.
I mean,
Like, bro,
give the motherfucker a script. Don't leave this. Don't let him freestyle, guys. He's very excited, Steve. He's a huge fan.
And that would have been me. Maybe I would have said Cold Stone too. I love Mike. I love Stone Cold and Cold Stone. They make some bomb ass thick milkshakes. But like he's just giddy. You're at a live WWF at the time. Yes, we could say it because it's the 90s. Like, man, I was there. I was at a WWF event, so like I get it, man. But I attribute it to that, man. Let me ask you this.
He was hyped for sure.
Let me ask you, out of the four staples, what was your preference growing up, man? Now we have Royal Rumble in January. Typically, we have WrestleMania, which was always spring. Maybe it's March or April. We have SummerSlam, which is like maybe July, maybe August in the summer, and Survivor Series, which is like always in November. Which one were you?
As a kid, I liked the Royal Rumble the most just because of the gimmick of the 30-man, like another dude coming out, like the drama of that. But as I got older, SummerSlam became my thing, mostly because of there's a lot of Shawn Michaels. He had that ladder match with Razor Ramon, I think, in SummerSlam. Just a lot of quality matches. So I think SummerSlam. And I like summer. I like wearing a tank top. So
now.
yeah, now, but I would say that. But Royal Rumble, dude, I mean it's one of the few gimmicky type wrestling match things that I like it. Maybe it is stupid, but I just like the setup.
I mean, I appreciate them all for what they do and their purpose, man. Growing up, I was always WrestleMania because I looked at it, and this is what it is. It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. They do it close to that time, around that time, and they bring out the stars to do the national anthem, from Willie Nelson to Little Richard to Run DMC to Salt-N-Pepa. I mean, like, they bring out the star. They bring out Macaulay Culkin, Jonathan Taylor Thomas and shit. But throughout my life, I've appreciated Survivor Series. I just like that team dynamic where, and I think specifically more in the early stages of Survivor Series, where they stayed within those beefs, within those angles, where it's like, okay, if Rick Rude has a beef with Roddy Piper, then Rick Rude is going to be the leader of his team, and he's going to face a team led by Roddy Piper. And like the people on Roddy Piper's team, they'll have beefs with the people on Rick Rude's team, like little shit like that, and they'll team up. It's like, oh, this is we'll see who's more superior. Yeah, Survivor Series.
Hell yeah.
But
I mean, Vince knows how to throw a party, Steve. I mean, he really can do no wrong.
He's the GOAT for a reason. But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or takeaways, my guy?
I just wanted to shout out to Mildred who won that Austin 316 truck. So if you can get in touch, if you're still around or somebody is related, I just want to know, did an old woman win that truck? We got to do some fact checking, Steve.
Man, Vince created her for a tax write-off.
I ain't selling that fucking thing. What about you?
Man, well, 97, SNL has a musical guest Snoop Doggy Dogg with David Allen Greer. And initially, I wanted to cover this because just like the Kevin Spacey episode, this shit is goated. I mean, Snoop Dogg is the musical guest. David Allen Greer is the host. This is the one where there were 3 different skits of him being Maya Angelou, and he's selling different products. One of them was Butterfinger. The other one was Pennzoil. And the other one was Fruit Loops. The Fruit Loops is the one that got me, where he's going through the different flavors, the crispy, the crunch, the strawberry, the kumquat, the like. Oh my! And he's doing the Maya Angelou to perfection, bro. It's David Allen Greer, so
Dang,
like,
dude.
but we can't do SNL and a wrestling in the like. It would be 5 hours long. So
No.
like that was the sacrifice I did for the Illuminati, man. But I do want to call attention to it because this is also the one where Tracy Morgan and Mr. Half Baked, they're like the former porn stars, and David Allen Greer is like their fast food manager. But they just keep like trying to come on to the chicks, like, man, this is all I know, man. I just like, come on, man. Like, come on, this. I'm trying to get a start, man. That's all I know. Like SNL, David Allen Greer, Snoop Dogg, 97 is good. Jamie Foxx airs Papa Don't Preach, and that is the one where Mary J. Blige, she is a choir singer. And Mr. Big plays her dad, and he's like a pastor. Ronald Isley, yes, and he doesn't want his daughters doing that secular music, but you know, Jamie, he gets her into the groove, and he gets her to sing it. And Ronald Isley, he walks in on him, and you know, he's like, you know what, you are good, baby, and you know, maybe you should be doing it. It's one of them kind of deals. But yeah.
I don't want you singing.
But that's all I got, man. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your little sister, my love is like a fucking truck berserker. Would you like to suck my cock berserker? Please check out our guy, Councilman Clark, on the YouTubes, as well as Freshgasm with Kendra, as well as Food Show Fanatics with Kendra and Matt G. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s.